Y'all, I was going bald here. I was going bald here.
Yeah, you know what it do. You want no one, I want no one but you, my love.
What's good, you guys? I am Nilsa, and today I'm going to talk about alopecia areata versus traction alopecia. I actually dealt with alopecia areata real bad, off and on for about 8 or 9 years. I also dealt a little bit with traction alopecia. My baby hairs are very fragile, like they're super sensitive. I had put some box braids or some faux locks in my hair, and it wasn't even tight at all, but the whole braid came out. I can't really put anything on my edges without them falling out. People may have questions in regards to their hair loss to try to figure out which type they're actually dealing with. So let's break it down. Alopecia areata is an autoimmune disease, which means your body is attacking itself. In this situation, your body is attacking its hair follicles, causing your hair to fall out. A traumatic experience in life is usually the reason your hair initially falls out. But triggers such as stress could be the reason for reoccurring hair loss. Now, having an already compromised immune system or poor eating habits could be a factor in alopecia areata also. So here are a couple examples of what alopecia areata tends to look like. There are circular areas, usually patches, in which your hair falls out and is completely clean to the scalp. The size can vary from like really small patches to like big size patches. With traction alopecia, the hair loss is due to pulling, tugging, friction with your hair. Most of the time it is along the perimeter of your hair, usually in the front, because with most people, their hair is more fragile in the front of their hair than it is towards the back. However, traction alopecia can occur anywhere in your hair if you are wearing a hairstyle that is pulling or tugging away at your hair. Traction alopecia is more common in the Black community, especially with Black women. Y'all, we wear our hair in so many different hairstyles, and unfortunately, some of those hairstyles actually are damaging to our hair. I remember on Easter Sundays, y'all, we used to get that blue magic, put it on them roots, you know, grab that hot comb fresh off the stove just to get them edges to lay down. Unfortunately, doing this consistently can be a reason that you have traction alopecia. It's a combination of the grease with the heat that's causing a burning or frying to the roots of your hair. Another example would be very tight or heavy braids such as cornrows, box braids, faux locks, anything along those lines where your hair is being pulled at the roots. So in my example, my hair was not tight, but because the braids was so heavy and my hair was so fragile up there, it caused it to just fall out. Sew-ins can also be a factor because we have the cornrows underneath and then we tightly sew on the weave to the braids to keep them in place. Wigs are not an exemption when it comes to traction alopecia either. One issue with wigs could be the fact that the band inside of the wigs and also the material used to make the wigs are consistently rubbing up against your hair, causing friction at your roots. Speaking of this, men who wear hats quite often are also at risk of traction alopecia. The reason why is because the bands that are inside of the hats, they do the same thing that the wigs do. They rub up against your perimeter of your hair, especially in the front, causing friction that can cause hair loss. So if you notice your hairline slowly moving back and you wear hats all the time, that could definitely be the reason why. If you are getting any value out of this video, go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think so far. Treatments. For alopecia areata, you have multiple choices. There are topical creams, steroids, shampoos, biotin, Rogaine, and hair implants. You also have a choice of going the natural or holistic route, which is what I did. You can check out my original video on how I cure my alopecia areata naturally, and it goes into a lot of detail. But pretty much to summarize it, I removed the major stress factor in my life, I changed my diet, and I stuck to a hair routine. For traction alopecia, if caught early, all you gotta do is just leave it alone. In most cases, your hair will grow back by itself. This honestly is the first and the easiest thing to do. Now, while your hair is growing back, you can do treatments similar to those of alopecia areata, such as shampoos, biotin, and hair oils. Unfortunately, if the traction alopecia goes on for too long, it can cause scarring. In that case, your hair can't naturally grow back through the scarred tissue. They do have options for surgeries for doctors to help with the scarred tissue in order to try to get your hair to grow back though. All right, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, bye.
You know what it do. You want no one, I want no one but you, my love. Don't fuck up the vision, don't fuck up the mood. Don't run with the ones that they running through. You got too much to lose, you.